Adelaide Marguerite Goss, External Devotion, Inner Intentions, and the True Value of Conscious Charity. The Testimony of the Spirit. Adelaide Marguerite Goss, presented in the second part of Heaven and Hell, invites a deep reflection on the difference between external practices of devotion and the real transformation of feeling, highlighting that spiritual elevation is not measured by religious form, but by the inner quality of intentions and actions. Adelaide Marguerite manifested with serenity, preserved awareness, and clear perception of her spiritual condition. In life, she was recognized for her acts of piety, constant religious practices, and gestures of charity. However, in the examination of her own conscience after passing, she realizes that many of her actions, although correct in appearance, lacked depth in love for others and true detachment. The suffering she experiences is not intense, but exists as moral unease, a result of the clarity that distinguishes external gesture from internal feeling. Modern depth psychology helps to understand this state by showing that socially valued behaviors can coexist with unconscious motivations, such as the need for approval, fear of guilt, or automatic habit. When consciousness matures, it begins to evaluate not only what was done, but why it was done. On the spiritual plane, this evaluation is direct and inevitable. Spiritism clarifies that the state of Adelaide Marguerite Goss does not represent a condemnation of religiosity or the charity practiced, but a call for the moral qualification of intentions. The charity that truly elevates is that which arises from sincere empathy, selflessness, and a genuine desire to alleviate the suffering of others, and not merely from the fulfillment of formal duties. Contemporary science reinforces this reading by indicating that altruistic actions motivated by internal values produce greater psychological integration than those driven by external pressure or expectation of recognition. On the spiritual plane, this integration translates into peace of conscience. Where there was good intention, even if incomplete, there is a basis for progress. Where there was moral automatism, the need for deepening arises. Another important point of the testimony is the absence of revolt or denial. Adelaide Marguerite humbly accepts the evaluation of her own conscience. She recognizes that she did the best she could, but understands that she could have gone further in love, understanding, and detachment. This attitude indicates spiritual maturity and paves the way for continuous learning. Spiritism teaches that this state is not definitive. As the conscience deepens the sense of charity as an inner experience and not just as an external act, progress accelerates. Spiritual justice does not demand immediate perfection, but sincerity in the desire to grow. This testimony brings a very current message. In context where spirituality can be reduced to rituals, identities, or automatic practices, Adelaide Marguerite Goss reminds us that the essential thing is not to appear good, but to be good inside. The conscience is not satisfied with forms, it seeks truth. Adelaide Marguerite teaches us that charity begins with feeling and is expressed in action, but it is only fully elevated when both walk together. Spiritual life does not devalue the good done. It invites you to become more aware, more humane, and more loving. Reflecting on this account is an invitation to review one's own motivations, asking oneself why we do good, how we do it, and with what feeling is now a valuable exercise in spiritual growth. Awareness matures when it transforms duty into lived love. If this testimony has helped you reflect on charity, intention, and spiritual authenticity, like, share, and leave your comment. Your participation helps this message reach more people.